Alright, so here's what we are going to do. I have this Excel file with a list of contacts. And when I hit send, every contact gets their own personalized text message right from my actual phone number. So whether you're following up with leads or reaching out to customers or texting your students, this works for all of that. And since most phone plans come already with unlimited texting, you are not paying per message. And any replies go straight right back to your phone, so you can keep the conversation going from there. Now for this, all you need is a Windows PC with Microsoft Excel, then Android phone, and QuickText, which is a paid Excel tool I have created. Now the setup takes only a few minutes, so let me walk you through it.
As the first step, we need to connect your phone with your computer, and we will do that with a free software called KDE Connect. And the installation is super simple. Just search for the Microsoft Store on your computer. Once you found it, open it. Here in the Microsoft Store, search for KDE Connect. It should now show up in the search results. So click on it and then click on install. Now depending on your internet speed, that might take a minute or two, but once installed, open the KDE Connect app. Here you will see that no devices have been found, and that is because we also need to install the KDE Connect app on your Android phone. But first, here on my phone, I want to make sure that I'm also on the same Wi-Fi network as my computer. Otherwise, I cannot pair them. Okay, so with that in place, let me open the Google Play Store. Here again, search for the KDE Connect app and install it. Once that is done, open the application on your phone. It will then might ask you to allow notifications, so go ahead and tap allow here. Alright, so now that my phone and computer are on the same Wi-Fi network and I have KDE Connect open on both, I can see my device name already here. So as the last step, we just need to pair them. And for that, I will click on the device ID here on my computer and then click the pair button. Now a pairing request will be sent to my phone. So when I check my notifications, I just need to click on accept here. Alright, and with that, my phone and computer are now paired. And you can also see that by the little green icon next to your device name. Now here's something important. By default, KDE Connect is not allowed to send SMS. So we need to tell Android to grant that permission. For that, just click on send SMS here. Android will then ask you to grant permissions. And here you just want to allow everything. Alright, and with that in place, we are now ready to send the SMS messages. For that, I will be using the QuickText Excel tool, and you can get it from the link in the description. Once you download and open QuickText, we will also need to quickly connect it with your phone. So just click on connect your phone here. And since KDE Connect is still running, it shows already as paired and reachable. That means we are now ready to send the messages. Now in my case, I have a separate Excel file with some contacts I want to message. I have one sheet with some leads and another sheet with some clients. But in both sheets I have a column with phone numbers. Now also, just so you know, the format of the phone numbers doesn't matter at all, because QuickText will clean and validate them, and you will see that in just a second. So back in QuickText, I will navigate to the contact manager. Here I just need to click on import contacts. Then I can select the Excel or CSV file I want to import. Next I will select the worksheet, so in my case I will first import my leads. Then I need to specify the column that holds all my phone numbers. Now here QuickText is actually smart enough to detect that automatically. However, if it doesn't auto-detect for you, simply select your phone number columns here in the drop-down menu. Now as an optional step, you can also import additional columns, and these columns will then become placeholders in your message. And I will show you what I mean in just a moment. So for my case, I want to bring over the first name and the area column. Okay, and in the next step, I can choose to validate and format my phone numbers during the import and also assign them to a list. Now, working with list is completely optional, but just to show you how it looks like, let me create a new list by typing leads in here. Alright, so with that in place, we can now go to the next step. Here you just get a quick review of your import settings. So this looks good to me, so I will import the contacts. Now, since I selected format and validate the numbers, you can see that they have been already cleaned up. And the tool also detected 3 invalid numbers that were not imported. Alright, so now that we have imported our contacts, we can prepare the messages. And for that, I will go to the message list and import my contacts here. So that means I just need to select the list I want to import. And down here, I can now also write the message. Now, in my case, I will just paste the message here, which I already prepared. And as you can also see, based on my list, I have 2 available placeholders. So the first name and the area. And those are exactly the columns I imported. So that means in the message, I can use those placeholders and they will be replaced with the actual values for each contact. And on top of that, you can also use spin text. So that means the tool will randomly pick one of the phrases separated by a pipe symbol. And that way, each message feels personal and unique, like you actually typed it out yourself. Now, if your contact list is not as clean as mine, meaning you might have some missing information for some context, you can also use fallback values in your placeholders. So even if some details are missing, like the first name for example, the message then still feels complete. However, in my case, as I don't have any missing information, I'm not using any fallback value here. Alright, so with that all in place, I can now add the contacts and the messages to my sent list. And here, as you can see, each row now contains one message per receiver. And to send the messages, just click on the send button. The tool will then run again some validations. After that is done, you can then decide if you want to send out all the messages or a custom range. Now in my case, I will just send all of them, and all I need to do is to click on the send button here. And as soon as I click on that button, each message will be then transferred to my phone. And I can also check that if I open my SMS application on my phone. So here I can see now that each message is being sent out one after another. Now by default, there's also a custom delay between each message. So let me quickly speed up the video. Alright, so now all my messages have been sent, and we can also see that each placeholder has been replaced, and also with spin tags, the wording varies for each message. Alright, and that is basically how easy it is to send bulk messages directly from your Android phone. Now before wrapping up, let me also cover a few things that you should keep in mind. First, this setup only works on Windows and an Android phone, so iPhones and macOS are not supported. So if you're on Apple, this is unfortunately not for you. Next, and I want to be completely upfront here about this, QuickText is not for cold outreach, so please do not use it to spam strangers. It is really meant for people who already know you and expect to hear from you, like your clients, your students, or your customers. If you're looking for a cold outreach tool, this is definitely not it. Also, another important thing to understand is that everything runs locally on your computer and your phone, so your data stays completely private. However, the trade-off is that you cannot schedule messages for later, so you need to be there when the messages go out. And lastly, carriers do monitor your texting activity, so if you send hundreds of texts all at once without getting any replies, they might temporarily limit your messaging. And to avoid that, try to spread out your messages throughout the day. So send some in the morning, then some more in the afternoon or evening. And also on top of that, try to end every message with a question, so to get the other person text back to you. That way it looks more like a real conversation rather than a broadcast. Now here the good thing about QuickText is that any replies come straight back to your phone, so you can easily keep the conversation going. Alright, so if you now also want to try this out for yourself, then check out QuickText from the link in the description.
And as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.